y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kayla and welcome. Honestly, today's video really doesn't need an introduction. All I'm gonna say is that these are the best healthy chocolate chip cookies I've ever made and probably the best healthy ones I've ever tried. They are soft, fluffy, and just the perfect texture with the perfect amount of sweetness. And I promise you, nobody will ever know that they are gluten-free, grain-free, and healthy. And you already know the drill. The recipe is going to be listed over on my blog, as well as the macros where you can print it off. I'll have that linked for y'all in the description box below. Of course, don't forget, if you do give this healthy chocolate chip cookie recipe a try, you can tag me over on Instagram and I will reshare that on my stories. But anyway, I don't want to keep y'all waiting, so let's head to the kitchen and get started. So to keep these cookies grain-free, instead of using regular flour like the traditional chocolate chip cookie recipe, we're going to use a mix of almond flour, cassava flour, and ground flax seeds. I like to add in the flax seeds just to sneak in some extra fiber and healthy fats. Let's get the dry ingredients mixed up first. You'll need 1 1/4 cup of the almond flour, and make sure whenever you measure it out, you loosely pack it into the measuring cup. And then I'm just using a butter knife to sort of skim the surface to get rid of any excess. But this is very important because if you pack it too tight into the measuring cup, it can change the texture of the cookies. You'll need 2 1/2 tablespoons of cassava flour and 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds. Now, if you only have whole flax seeds in your pantry, don't worry. You can quickly grind them up using a coffee grinder. Just add the seeds and blend. And this is just a cheap little coffee grinder I got off Amazon years ago, but it works perfectly for this. For the granulated sweetener, you can pretty much use any type of sweetener you want, including regular cane sugar, coconut palm sugar, or if you want to cut back on the sugar a little bit, you can also use something like monk fruit or birch xylitol. I'm going to use monk fruit today, and you're going to need 2 to 3 tablespoons worth of the granulated sweetener, depending on how sweet you like your cookies. Add a pinch of sea salt and whisk that together until everything's fully combined. Now, let's get our wet ingredients together, starting with a 1/4 cup of softened or melted coconut oil. You can also use grass-fed butter or ghee. Let's add in 3 tablespoons of raw honey and whisk that up until it's fully combined. Now let's add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 room temperature egg, and off to the side in a small bowl, I'm mixing together 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda with 1 teaspoon of water and then pouring that into the mixture as well. Give that a good whisk. And by the way, it's very important that the egg is at room temperature. This is going to help the cookies to rise a little bit more and make them more fluffy. All right, let's pour the bowl of wet ingredients into the bowl of dry ingredients and just continue whisking that until everything comes together and the texture looks something like this. Then we're going to add in the chocolate. Now you can use a chocolate bar or chocolate chips. I do recommend that it's anywhere from 55% to 70% cacao. If you like the chocolate to be less bitter, then you'll want to go with a lower percentage. But if you're using a chocolate bar, all you need to do is roughly chop it up into about 1/2 inch size chunks. And the main difference between using a chocolate bar versus chocolate chips is that the chocolate bar breaks down and melts into the cookie a bit more. So you're going to get more chocolatey bites with the chocolate bar, if that makes sense. I love it both ways. It really just comes down to your preference. But today I'm actually going to use chocolate chips. Again, I recommend the semi-sweet chocolate chips. This Lily's brand is a great lower sugar option, and I also like the organic brand of chocolate chips from Kroger. But whether you use the chocolate bar or the chocolate chips, you're going to need 3 ounces worth, which is about 1/2 heaping cup. All right, let's add those to the bowl, and using a spatula, gently fold them into the cookie dough mixture until they're fully incorporated. And using my cookie scooper, I'm going to scoop out a heaping tablespoon's worth of the dough. You want to make sure that it's packed pretty tightly into the scooper, so that way it forms a nice ball shape whenever you place it onto the baking sheet. And just repeat that process until all of the cookie dough is gone. This recipe is going to yield about 12 to 13 cookies. All right, once I have them all on the baking sheet, I like to flatten them to about 1/2 inch thickness and then go in and smooth out the edges so that way they turn out really nice and round. And we're going to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 9 to 11 minutes or until the edges are slightly golden. I left mine in for exactly 10 minutes. Once they're done, you'll want to let them cool for about 10 minutes on the baking sheet, and then you can transfer them to a cooling rack to let them cool completely. And I wish y'all could smell my house right now because it smells delicious. And that's pretty much it. These healthy chocolate chip cookies are ready to go. I mean, just look at how fluffy and soft they are. I'm telling y'all, these are a must try, and when you dip them in your favorite milk, it's like heaven in your mouth. They are such a nice treat. Now for storage, I just add them to a glass storage container They'll stay fresh at room temperature for about 5 days and in the fridge for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. But I can't wait to hear y'all's feedback on these healthy chocolate chip cookies. Well, all right, y'all, that is it for today's video. My healthy chocolate chip cookies, and I really hope y'all give these a try because they are so good and the kids are gonna love them too. Don't forget, you can tag me in your food photos and your meal prep photos over on Instagram, and I will reshare that on my stories. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Comment below if you give these cookies a try. Let me know how you liked them. And next up, I'll be planning another new healthy 5-day meal prep. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.